Investing in a coach was one of the things that helped me break out of that mindset. Now, for some of you, you may have things like dysfunctional beliefs, like, oh, it's too late for me. The founder of KFC, they said he started KFC. He had lost a lot of businesses. He had gotten fired a lot of times. He started KFC when he was like 76. There are women who got married at the age of, yesterday I was in church for this program called Settled. And there was this woman who told us that she got married at the age of 43. She met her husband at the age of 41. Now, after all of the pressure at home and all of that, there are people who tell you that they gave birth at the age of 60. Now, I may be talking about outliers, but the question is, what, why do you think of yourself as common? Because that's the only reason why you would think it's too late for you, or you haven't gone ahead in your career, or the people ahead of you are going so fast, so far. But then there's this thing that a friend of mine taught me. This was almost 8 years ago, which was never ignore the importance of little beginnings. The truth is, right now, things may not be going as well as you want, but they will go better. That's the truth. But then it has to come from your mind that, hey, I have time. I'm going to be great. I'm going to do so much. This year, I'm going to achieve all of the goals I have planned, right? But you see, some of the things that also stop you, that blocks you and causes all of these dysfunctional beliefs is regret. I am someone who has lived with quite a number of regrets. But then the moment I shifted my mindset, sometimes your regrets could be, oh, moral regrets. Oh, I did all this. Oh, the world sees me like this. Honestly, nobody cares. And even if they care, tomorrow they'll move on to the next thing. For some people, is that if only I had this connection, then I should be able to do X, Y, Z. But there are people who have done things without connections. The truth is, God is your connection. Hold on to that. There are people who, because you are waiting for connections, you sit on your ass and not do anything. Now, the question is, it's not like connections are not there, it's that you haven't started anything. So, what is in your hand? Because if you don't have something in your hand to do and someone meets you while you are doing it, you can't move forward. If you're not actively trying to improve how you think about yourself, however you think people think about you, they honestly don't care, or they may even think of you that way. But if you don't change from you, why should they change how they think about you? So please find a way to adjust your mindset, or maybe you've lost passion. Again, connect it back to a lot of people, them losing passion can come from consistent failure. And I empathize because I have failed at some things again and again and again. But you know what keeps me going is having this constant knowledge of there are people who have failed countless times and they still showed up. So why am I deciding that I'm going to stay? And again, remember, you may not lack motivation. You may not lack motivation to pursue your passion. You may just be uninspired. So the question is, what inspires you on a normal day and how can you go and connect back to it? One of the things I said I was going to share after this event, which is going to be shared tomorrow, is a life audit toolkit that I created and have shared with quite a number of people who it has. I know I haven't shared it with them as a one document. I've shared maybe like parts of them to different people, and everybody used it and they found ways to like get results for their life. You are going to get that for free. I would advocate that you please take some time to do this, to just go through the exercises. And I feel at the end of the day, you'll find that inspiration again. Personally, I do it at least once every 6 months to revive that passion, to reignite that what made me start. So please, it all starts with you. You can't pour out of an empty cup. The people around you, enabling relationships is one of the major things that's really helped me. And I talked about hiring a coach. That's one of the things I did last year when I felt stuck. And the truth is always investing in yourself is the most important thing. So please do invest in yourself. Recruit your team. Your team are people who are, they could be mentors, it could be your manager, it could be your sponsors, or it could be your coach. Or it could just be your destiny helpers that God has already placed in your life. Earlier today, I was listening to a message that talked about how There are people that God can place in your life that can be like, hey, you don't have to do anything. God has just placed me in your life to ensure that you are okay. And I've had those people from when I was like maybe like in primary school. And by the time I was done with primary school, the next set of destiny helpers I had changed in secondary school. The next set of destiny helpers I had in polytechnic changed. The next set of destiny helpers I had when I moved to Lagos changed. In NYC, they were different. Today, the people I have around me who are helping push me, people who are sponsoring. Sponsorship is not necessarily a sponsoring your lifestyle, sending you money. That's not what I'm talking about. Or destiny helpers are not necessarily people who will give you money. That's one of the mindset that we need to break out of. Destiny helpers could be people who introduce you to someone, who introduces to someone, who helps you get an opportunity or a job. All of the jobs I've done since I've started this life that I've been in has been based on recommendation. I have I have not applied for a role and gone to do any job. These are people. Every single job has been connected to someone that I've known in one way or another. So who are the people around you? Can you boast of 5 people who help you to achieve your goals? Can you boast of 5 people who, if you tell them, hold me accountable to these systems that I've placed in front of me? Do you have those people? And can you also boast that you are one of those people for someone else? Are you a coach? Are you a mentor? Are you a sponsor? Are you a manager? Or are you even a accountability partner for someone else? If you are not, then please change the way you think about that, because you could set systems in place and there are some systems that need people to enable them. So you have to please think of it that way. Then the final part is go global. I've talked about this extensively, so I'm just going to quickly brush off on it, right? The people that in one way or another I have supported in growing a career, either through Andela, Decagon, or Old School, or even a Talent Cure, a lot of them are changing lives in one way or another. It all started with not even me. It started with my mentor, who is Ango, who I met in the Polytechnic. And guys, Ango, what he did was just be a mentor or a sponsor to me. He wasn't hand-holding me. That's the problem. A lot of us want enabling relationships that hand-hold us. No, that's not what you need. You need people who ask you the right questions. Ango asked me the right questions. Every time I had an opportunity that came up, I would always go and call him like, hey, boss, see what in the happen, no, see this, see that, and all of that. He ensured that whatever resources we needed was there. But then I ran with it that, oh, all of these opportunities or everything that this man has placed in my hand, I can't allow it to just fall through the cracks. I have to run with it. So when you take all of this and then you keep doing your work, showing up every day, you keep impacting lives. What happened is Ango impacted my life in one way. I was the one person that he has impacted. But in my emails, I told you guys about how I have directly supported over 500,000 people to get a meaningful skill for them to grow a career. Now, those 500,000 people, can you imagine how many 500,000 people they will impact? And the question is, who are you impacting? Who are your systems impacting? Is your system impacting even people in your house? If your system is not impacting people in your house, then think about it. How can I build systems that impact people within my house? Because the more you see impact and purpose rooted in your systems, the more you stay motivated and inspired to keep pushing. And when you meet your goals, the more inspired you are to go 2x or 3x, depending on what the case may be for you. Okay. This is my system, right? And I've talked about it extensively. This is like the trifecta for me. God at the absolute top. My mission to the world, which is empower people to have the skills they need to live fulfilling lives, or even the community they need to live fulfilling lives. Then systems and people. I set systems and I adjust them every Sunday. What worked last week? What can I improve upon and get it to the next week? Because if I don't do that, then I am failing at what God has placed me to do. And then my purpose ends up being diminished or dried up. So please, I hope that with everything I've said today, you look at it that God is God can be the foundation for you, or something else could be the foundation for you. But I recommend God, depending on whatever religion you belong to. Like if you stick with everything that you're supposed to do, and then you'd run within your purpose and you build goals around that. And then you have people who are holding you accountable and people you are holding accountable. Honestly, you have, it's literally like things just start happening for you. Like things just start happening for you in one way or another. Once you are working in purpose, I need you to understand that you will lose a lot of things. You will lose a lot of people because you have to shed unnecessary weight. Unnecessary weight can be procrastination. Unnecessary weight can be friends. For me, I've had to learn that friends come into my life. Remember how I said that every season of my life, I had different enabling relationships. That's the same thing with friends, not because you leave people behind. No, it's that I see it as people come into your life at the point whereby they they come in for a season, right? And when that season is over, it's okay to let them go. And it's okay for people to let you go. Don't think of this person stopped talking to me. They become big, they've become that and all of that. You too, you have become big. There are people that you are not talking to. So why are you stressed about people who don't talk to you? Why? So you need to shed off unnecessary weight. Unnecessary weight could be laziness. Because if you're living in purpose, the truth is, one thing that humbles me a lot is when I see people who are doing so much better than me, and I will be like, or you see someone who has not gotten to your level. Like I've been working for 10 years. I'm on like executive level on my team. And you see people who have not gotten on your level and they are pushing so hard at doing things and you see lives being impacted by them. Then it humbles you in the sense that if you don't do it, someone else will. There is so much to do in this world. Amongst the 17 SDG goals that I talked about, there are other people, companies, individuals who are taking all of the other ones that you don't care so much about. They are running with it actively. So, are you going to run with your own purpose? Are you going to build systems to help you drive this or not? It all comes back to how you operate within yourself. Because if you don't fix how you think about things, if you don't fix why you do the things you do, then whatever goal you set, whatever system you put in place, they would fall through the cracks. So the question is, what do you have in your hands? Some people will say, oh, I have faith that this will happen. I have faith that this will happen. But the truth is, you need to sometimes separate between faith, foolishness, and presumption. Sometimes you are just being foolish that, oh, this is going to happen. You don't do anything. And then you don't have anything in your hands. So the question is, what do you have in your hands? What do you know how to do right now, regardless of how small it is? What is very small for me that people don't know is when I started with my work, it started from when I was in secondary school, when we used to have this brothers and sisters day. And then I was one of the people who was planning the end to end of how this happens, the people who we should be working with, how much time it should take us to do this. That was when my project management started in secondary school. And then I moved to university or polytechnic and I was doing that. I was supporting organizations, volunteering for communities. So which communities can you volunteer? What do you have in your hands that you can give to people? And how can you show up for people? And if it's that what you have in your hands is not enough, then go out, borrow vessels to expand capacity. Borrowing vessels could be you hiring someone as a virtual assistant for a very minimal amount of money. Or it could be you hiring a PA for maybe more money, but then you have more time. Or it could be you gaining more skills to help you expand or improve your capacity or your knowledge. Or again, it could be that you are volunteering or getting people to volunteer to work with you to achieve some of your goals because there are people who want to improve their resume. All you have to do is ask, please come and work on this project with me. Partner with me, let's do this. And let me see how I can support you to also add this on your resume. I have done that a lot. One of the things that helped me go very far is volunteering. And one of the things that have helped people around me go far is volunteering because
Hello, Rachel. I don't know if you can hear me, but I've stopped hearing you. Is it just me?
Yeah, same here. I can hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same thing.
think maybe it's the
Okay,
network or
good
something.
evening, everyone. So she's trying to switch to another network, so she'll be up in no time. Few minutes from now, she'll be up. Just trying to sort the network from the end.
All right,
Please
thank you.
kindly bear with us. Thank you so much. Okay, yes. So while we are waiting for it to come back, while she's sorting out the network, please could you please
Guys, I am becoming an old woman. I was trying to stop sharing and then I ended the call. I'm so sorry.
welcome back.
I don't know if there were some questions in the chats. Oh my God, my chat has cleared. Well, okay, let me go to the questions we recorded and what we categorize them as. Um, yeah. Yeah. Okay. We had some questions around, so I'm going to, I think we categorized them into five. Yeah. One, two, three, four, five. Five. Right. I'm going to quickly run through them. Yeah. On faith, how to overcome fear and build confidence in the workplace. The truth is, fear is one of the lie of, it's one of the lie that people don't know how to move beyond. The truth is, even as myself, sometimes I get scared about what's going on in my life, what's going on at work. Am I meeting up? Am I this? Am I that? Do people see me as who I'm supposed to be? Am I showing up for my team? Am I being enough for the team? Am I this? Am I that? The truth is, fear is just, people tell you fear is in the mind, and sometimes that's very true. There's a certain degree of self-confidence that comes from, I am not, all of this is not about me, right? And I didn't bring myself here. It was God that brought me here, first of all. I'm not doing this because I'm just trying to make money for the end of the month. I'm doing this because there's someone has to do it. There's also the part of confidence coming from your skills, right? Because they say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You need to have to prepare yourself. What skills do you have? There are people who, I promise you, they go online, they talk about all of the amazing things they do and all of that. And behind the scene, you work with them and you know that this person really doesn't have the skill. So people have a delusional degree of self-confidence. But in your own case, the question is, how do you have the skills? Imposter syndrome is a thing, but then the truth is you're not a fraud. There are people who have not done enough and who are bragging out there. So the question is, you who are doing so much, why do you feel like what you are doing doesn't make sense? Or why do you feel like people are going to see you as a fraud that you think you are, which you are not? You are doing work every day. So why do you think of yourself as fraud, as a fraud? Or why are you scared? Why are you scared of failing? Right? It's okay to have fear of failure. But then the question is, that fear of failure comes, I see the times that I used to see fear of failure, like I had to take some time to like go into why people fear failure and why people fear success. And all of it is rooted in pride, right? You want is rooted in pride and greed, right? Whereby, and I know it doesn't exactly make sense, but stick with me for a bit. There are times that you have this, I want to do this so well, perfectionism. Now, why do you want something to be so perfect if it's not greed? There's excellent work, but there's also greed, whereby you want it to be so perfect because you want to extract everything out of it. That is greed. Maybe not the way we think of greed, but that is some form of greed. There are times that you do excellent work and it doesn't have to be perfect, and that's okay. But then there's also the part of you want to do things in such a way that it is, you want to do things in such a way that it blows everybody's mind. And then because you don't meet that level, then you beat yourself up and make yourself feel like, oh, I didn't do enough, right? That is another form of pride. Why are you trying so hard to do everything the best way possible? The more you are trying to do things the best way possible, I'm not saying don't aim for excellent work. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying let your reasons come from a pure place. I want to do this so well because I know that the people who need to have access to this system or the people who need to have access to this project, if they have the best of it, it would change their experience or it would change their life. Now, if you come from that place, even if it's not perfect, when you see the impact that the work your work produces, that confidence would come that this was good work, even if it wasn't perfect. But then if you insist on it has to be perfect, if it's not perfect, then I don't feel confident anymore. Then is that not great? Balancing work and spirituality. This is one thing that it took me a while to figure out, but I was able to navigate better over time, right? Now, some of the things that causes you to, for example, let's see, you are always working, you don't have time to go to church, or you don't have time to pray and all of that. The truth is, you could use some of the tips I used about buying back some of your time, right? But let's say you're not able to buy back some of your time. Sometimes you need to ask God for help. That's the truth. You need to ask God for help. Like, God, I want to spend time with you. And I want to be able to do it the best way possible. So help me identify what I need to shed off to help me buy back time. And the truth is, the Holy Spirit is our help, is our shield, and he's our guidance, he's our guide, he's our friend. He will show you some of the things that you are spending too much time on that you need to shed off things with. There are times that even the Holy Spirit convicts you that, you don't spend like 10 hours today, you do work. You never even carry your Bible. Just open and small, right? And you think, I'm sorry and all of that. But what do you do to change that habit, right? Again, buy back time. A lot of people will tell you, wake up earlier to do your devotion and all of that. But I can tell you for a fact, I'm one of those people who wakes up sometimes at 10 a.m., but I sleep into I go to bed maybe like 4 a.m. But then within that 10 a.m., I may not wake up early. My mother hates it so much because she feels if you don't wake up very early to do devotion, then you haven't caught the day and all of that. But I know that I'm able to deliver results. So the truth is, within that day, are there like some 10, 15, 20 minutes breaks that you can take now to just spend time with God, right? There's also the part of asking people to help you. Maybe this year you want to go to church. You go to church every Sunday, but now you want to go to church every Wednesday too. And then your work requires you to be at work on Wednesdays to a particular time. But then you can ask someone that, hey, I know I have to be at work till 7 or maybe like 6 p.m. and church starts at 4 or 5. And I want to be able to, but on Wednesdays, if maybe you run shifts or maybe like there are other things that you do, I don't know. Like if you run shifts, you can tell them, oh, let me take your shift so I can go to church, or take my shift this last 1 hour or 2 hours of my time so I can go to church, and then take the rest of the day, like maybe on your own shift day, I am going to pay back that time. That's another way. Another way you could also balance this, which is the final I would talk about, is that my church started this thing where they call work from church every Wednesdays. The idea is, especially in Lagos, a lot of people don't have time to close from work and because of traffic before they get to church, right? So on Wednesdays, it's like you can take permission from your workplace to work from church. I'm sure your church is quiet. I'm sure your church, some part of it has good internet. You spend time at church. You don't even have to go to the church from morning till night. You go to church maybe like at 12 or 1 or 2, and then you spend the rest of the time, and then it allows you to ease into being in church like later, right? Now, the truth is, in the midst of all this, you could do all of these activities and still not spend a lot of quality time with God. It now falls back to you, right? What is more important? I'm not saying your time with God should be more important than your work, or your work should be more important. That's not what I'm saying. But the question is, what is a priority for you? And what can you give up for that time with God? That's the simplest way to balance work and spirituality. Now, how do you get out of your comfort zone to fulfill what you know you are capable of? To step out of your comfort zone, a lot of people around me, sometimes it scares me to be around people who are within their comfort zone. But there was a conversation I had with one of my friends within this week that made me realize that some people don't, like, I always understand how people stepping out of their comfort, like people who stay in their comfort zone. Sometimes it could be out of fear. Sometimes it could be this very extreme level of contentment, right? Not because you are not ambitious, but it's that you are content with where you are. But then sometimes it's very extreme that you need to break out, at least to a certain degree, just reduce that level of contentment, right? But then there's also people that it's just a limiting mindset. Your comfort zone, there are people who, this is another example of comfort zone. There are people who they want to achieve a lot, but then they are very calculating in their head that, for example, let's say this year you had planned that, oh, I'm going to achieve, let's say last year you made 1 million naira in your business again, or 1.2, 100K every month, 1.2 million. And then from that 1.2 million, you are like, this last year, right? This year, I want to make 2 million naira or 2.4. I want to double my income. But then what if there are times that God is telling you that I want you to operate on you accessing 24 million this year? And then I'm sure in some people's head, a light bulb went off like, 24 million, how now? If you check yourself, you may be one of those people. But the truth is, it's possible. It's like God wants you to operate on that next level, but then your mind doesn't know how it will happen. And so you get so comfortable. So these are different ways of people staying in their comfort zone. Now, to answer your question, how do you get out of your comfort zone? Associate yourself with people who are doing even more. Tell people who are doing so much that it inspires you, that you see them as super ambitious. Tell them that, hey, I want to achieve XYZ this year. I need you to hold me accountable. Now, there is them holding you accountable and there's you moving. The truth is, if you stand as a rock on one point and then you tell them, oh, I want to go to that river, and then they tie a rope around you, they bring a trailer, they try to drag you, and you are not moving, you've decided that, no, I'm still going to stay here. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to start breaking, like, how do you move a rock from one point to another? Sometimes you have to either find a way to uproot it, if that's possible, or you find a way to start breaking it into pieces, taking chips and chips of it little by little and taking it from that point to the point that you are moving it to. So if you don't allow yourself to be chipped and chipped and chipped and chipped, there's no way you will step out of your comfort zone. So the question is, how flexible are you towards it? What steps are you putting in place? What is one thing that you are doing? For example, your comfort zone could be that, I'm never going to exercise in this life, or exercise, going to the gym is not for me. But then you moving out of your comfort zone just by an inch is maybe you deciding that at the end of every day after dinner, I'm going to take a 30-minute walk, or 30 minutes is even too much, a 15-minute walk. So you set an alarm. I finish dinner so for the first maybe like 1 week, I recommend working with an alarm and then maybe recommend eating at a particular time. Let's say 7 p.m. you are done eating, or 7:30 you are done eating. So you have an alarm for 7:30 that states that immediately after you're done, go for a walk. Once you are done, you go for a walk for 15 minutes. You go for a walk for 15 minutes. You go for a walk for 15 minutes. That improves your level of activity in your body. And then in the next 3 months, you could decide that, you know what, instead of going for a walk for 15 minutes, I want to do 30 minutes. You improve that by 30 minutes. Instead of 30 minutes, okay, I want to improve by 1 hour. You improve that by 1 hour. And then you keep increasing and increasing and increasing, and that's how you're able to move, right? So those are the ways that you move out of your comfort zone, because while people hold you accountable, you need to move. That's the truth. But please have people around you who inspire you. Have people who around you. People who inspire you might be different from people who hold you accountable. Have people around you who hold you accountable, and then you finally move. But also have tools that helps you make that move, or that keeps you moving, basically, right? Uh Habit creation. I think I talked about habit creation. Do that thing bit by bit, at least for 21 days. In my personal opinion, I would say do it for 30 days, right? Because there are some of us that 21 days is not enough. So maybe do it for 30 days, and I feel that would really help. Hobby selection. With hobbies, right? There are things that the truth is, the older we get, the more our hobbies change, right? Our hobbies change because maybe we have maybe we how do I put it? Our hobbies change because we evolve into better versions of ourselves, right? In my opinion, I wouldn't say choose a hobby that is choose something that you just find interesting. But how do you even find a hobby? First of all, go out with people, right? Go out with people, hang out with people, and then when you're hanging out with people, get to understand how they are, how do I put it? How they are doing things. But also have fun with people. Try new things. Maybe like for the next 3 months, I want you to every month, at the end of every week, do something new. Go to Pinterest and tell, or even ChatGPT, tell it that you want a list of very minimal, easy to do things that could be a hobby that you can do for the next 3 months, every week, for the next 90, or that's going to be how many weekends? That's going to be about 12 weekends. Just 12 hobbies, right? And every weekend, stick with it, right? Maybe like sometimes if you find one that is interesting, try to do it again, right? And then see if you like it, try to do it again. And then at some point, you might have found that hobby that you really want, right? How to strike a balance between living the life I want, doing the job I want, and also leaning for the places I want to be, especially when it's a niche that is part that is not common. The question is, why are you there? If you can clearly have a why, the truth is nobody can move you from that place. You would be able to do the best things you want to do there. Like, especially if you are in a niche that is not very common. The truth is, one thing that derive joy from the work you do, derive joy from the people around you, right? Or find not necessarily derive joy from the people that are around you, more like find activities that makes you joyful, right? These are hobbies and all of that. And also places that you enjoy being, places that brings out the best in you, that when you go back home, you feel, oh my God, I had the best time. If you, and then understand why you are there. It's not because you are there because of people, you are there because you are actually just having a swell time, right? Once you are there, honestly, I feel you would be fine, right? So, becoming a better version of yourself. Honestly, it starts with mindset. It also starts with why, right? The truth is, once you have a why for something, you can actually move mountains. Why do you want to become a better version of yourself? Is it because you need to show up better for the people around you? Is it because you want to show up better for yourself? Is it because you want to show up better for even in your relationship with God? It takes courage to actually get to that point, which I must applaud you. Well done for wanting to do that, right? But why do you want to be that person? If you understand why you want to be that person, all you need to do is make a list of the things you need to do. What are like your core values of today? Remember, I told you to have conversations with friends, right? Let them tell you who you want to be or what you should be doing and all of that, right? Have those conversations and use that to bring out what core values you want to exude going forward. And then ask yourself, or ask ChatGPT or ask the Holy Spirit, how can I show up as this person? And with showing up as this person, what that means is that you are able to, oh my God, we don't have a lot of time. Let me start wrapping up quickly. You are able to practice by showing up as that person. It could be that, oh, you lie a lot. You tell yourself, you make a conscious effort in your head that, you know what, every time I tell a lie, I'm going to maybe send someone a message that I just lied about this and I want to stop. Do you know that if you send that message 7 times in maybe like 2 days, by the next time, if you are true to yourself, by the next time, you would start to be like, why do they lie like this? How can I stop? And then what will happen is the next time you want to lie, you would immediately tell yourself, no, that was not the truth. Or you can even, what will happen in some cases is that you tell someone a lie and then you go and tell them that, hey, I'm sorry I lied to you. This is what happened. Now, the truth is, it may cause that person to lose their trust in you. But then because of what happens, you would know that I don't want anyone else to lose their trust in me. And so bit by bit, you reduce that whole sense of lying. And in your head, it becomes almost like a mental clock, like, hey, I can't be lying like this. I can't be showing up as this person. If I'm going to show up, I need to show up better, right? Now, succeeding in your career. I think for me, the most important thing about succeeding in your career is providing value, right? Once you provide value so well and you surround yourself with really great people, right? People who are advocating for you and you put your work out there, right? And then you ask God to put you out there too. You will succeed in your career. That is my own simple definition on how to do that, right? How to deal with anxieties that come with job interviews. So I am going to be sharing a little about Balance Unleashed just to give you context as to how I would help answer all of these questions, right? I may not answer all of them now, but I'm going to answer all of these questions eventually, right? The anxiety that comes to job interviews, it comes with everything, right? The truth is, I am a very amazing public speaker. I can send you links to videos of places wow, I spoke at. That was me almost doing a blunder. I've spoke over time at like some of the stages I've had the opportunity to speak at, right? And I can tell you for a fact that for the first 5 to 10 to 20 seconds, if you listen to my voice, you would hear it crack. If you listen attentively, that is me being anxious. That is me having a stage fright. I've been speaking for over 10 years. I have improved on my speaking skills the past couple of years. At least, I feel like we didn't even, from last year till date, my speaking skills has even improved even more. But that anxiety is always there. So how do you deal with it? Take more job interviews, practice more. Some of the things you want to talk about. Now, one of the things that helped me is preparation. The more you prepare, the less anxious you would be. But then that anxiety will still be there. Sometimes think of it as just part of the journey. It's okay for me to be anxious. I'm just going to go out there and do what I need to do, right? So, how do you go about a tech career journey with zero skills, no experience? Volunteer, 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 volunteer. Do projects in your spare time so that you can build your portfolio, but volunteer because the people who would give you job opportunities or who will recommend you are people who you did some pro bono work for. It's that simple. How to build my side hustle globally. We would have a conversation about this. I'm hosting a session like this year. This is just one of the multiple sessions I'm going to be holding. So we'll have a conversation about this. Where we'll bring in, I have supported businesses to go global, right? But I've also seen people who have taken their businesses global, right? And some of the best ways that they've done that is through partnerships. Partner with people. You can't do it alone, right? This is my alarm telling me our time is up. You can't do it alone. Partner with people. Find people who are able to do these things and partner with them, or who do similar things in the region that you hope to operate in. And when you work with them, they tend to sort of like help you venture into this market, right? And once you venture into this market, you end up getting some connections. It won't happen immediately, but by venturing through partnerships and venturing into this market, you will end up like achieving all of your goals in this market. Okay, my time is up. Marcus, I'm going to beg for 5 more minutes, please. Please, 5 more minutes. I think I'm just going to ask in the chat session. Is that okay? I just need 5 more minutes, guys. 5 minutes.
Yes, please fire on, fire on.
Okay, thanks a lot,
Okay.
guys. 5 minutes. I want to tell you quickly about okay, Marcus, can you please allow me share? Please allow me share. Please allow me share. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me come back to this. Where is the screen? Where is the screen? Okay, yeah. I want to talk to you briefly about Balance Unleashed. A lot of you already know about me, Rachel, or I've spoken a lot about myself. Now, at the start of, for the past decade, I've been doing a lot of amazing work in the talent space, but then that decade ended last year in November, so it's a decade plus now. I've been working for about 10-ish years, and I think some of you who had the chance to watch the video that I shared, you must have seen that I've been doing a lot for a while. Now, I got to this point where I had a lot of uncertainties about what was next for me. And then in the midst of that, I had been working for a while without stopping. That led me to get burnt out. I was yearning for more. Like I wanted to do more, but I didn't know how, right? Just as excuse me, just as the number of you have sent messages to me about wanting to do more and all of that. And then I had some things that was going on with family, with friends. I was finding it difficult to balance all of these things. But then over time, I think I was able to now like pause and do almost like a life audit, right? This is why I feel that audit workbook that I'm going to be sharing tomorrow is really crucial to helping you like get to that point of getting unstuck, right? And within that time of doing all of this, I realized that I didn't have a community of people I can fall back on. I didn't have people who could support me. And in the midst of that, I realized that I really wanted people to support me. But the truth is, in all of the ways that it was just hard, right? It was hard to figure it out on my own. I was able to get paid support. I paid for these services, and people were able to support me to get unstuck. People were able to help me find that my drive again. And I realized that I pay a lot of money for this. Not everybody can pay for this. And if I had a community of people who had gone through this, either burnout, who are having a lot of uncertainties about their career, about how to move with their faith, about how to make more money, about how to balance living life, about how to like manage their finances, I feel they would have answered my question, given me very relatable answers to my problem that they could also relate to. Now, I believe that a lot of us are having one thing or the other that is off for us. And this is why I founded Balance Unleashed. I started Balance Unleashed actually February last year. And like I said, for people who joined us earlier, I hosted 3 events within the last year. Really amazing events. If you want to watch them, so I did them on LinkedIn. So it was more of I was going to do it I did them on LinkedIn Live. You can check my LinkedIn profile on events. You'll see the 3 events there in case you have time. Those ones I was very specific with the time. I didn't want to waste too much of people's time. So they were always an hour exactly or less than an hour. So if you have time to just listen to it on your way to work or whatever, please do. And those events were really impactful. A lot of people sent me messages and all of that. And I realized that truly there are lots of people who need support to live a more balanced life because fulfillment is, again, it's a right, not a privilege. Everybody should be able to live a fulfilled life. So that was why I say Balance Unleashed. The goal of Balance Unleashed is to support every single person within the community to live a life that is life of fulfillment rooted in faith and purpose. That's simple. And Balance Unleashed has 5 pillars: faith, career, health, finance, and recreation. Because for me, I believe that my faith and how my relationship with God and over time, how I have grown, all of the rubbish I used to do in how I walked with God and how I have grown and how I have become more dependent, how I've surrendered, and how I have trusted God and also God's hand upon my life has really impacted me to live the kind of life I live today. My career has been amazing, but then I have had to get a lot of support. And even with faith, I have had to build a circle of friends who held me accountable. My health, I've talked about all of the exercises I've done and all of that. There are times I fall, I give up. There are times I pick things back up. Now, with health, there is mental health because there are a lot of people who are depressed out there. There are a lot of people who are going through some form of anxiety. I mean, someone asked questions about anxiety. Anxiety, if you don't fix some things in your health, it trickles into your career, into your finance, into how you show up for fun, even how you relate with God, right? Your sexual health, your physical health, your mental health, your what's it called? Intellectual health, everything, right? All encompassing part of health. Finances, how do we make more money? How do we retain money? How do we make our money work for us? And then recreation, how do we have fun? Because guys, if you're not having fun, you will suffer, right? Fun is one of the most important parts of our lives. So these are the core pillars of Balance Unleashed. Now, why am I telling you this? For the first time, I want to offer you what Balance Unleashed offers, or what I was hoping to get when I was going through while I was navigating the 10 years of my career, that in some ways I got it bit by bit, but I wish I would have gotten it in one place. I needed a community, right? Because doing life alone is one of the worst things. So Balance Unleashed offers you community. Balance Unleashed offers you growth. These are people being part of a community who is intentional about your growth, people who will hold you accountable, who will check in with you. Like we've built experiences and systems in place whereby we are checking on you to be like, oh, are you good? The goals that you had set, the systems you put in place, what has worked, what has not worked, how can we support you to get through to the next stage? And then adventure. We are going to go on trips for those of us who, the thing is, don't think about where you are. Don't think about it. Think of this community as a global community. It's starting very local, but it's going to go global, whereby depending on where you are, we would organize events or organize trips. We could organize, it could be a hiking trip on a weekend on Saturday. It could be that, oh, some of us would decide that, oh, we want to go to Olumo Rock. I've never been. So that's something we could plan to go for. It could be that some of us would decide I want to do paint and sip. And it's not about your location. Please remember, it's not about your location. It could also be adventures that we could do online. We meet together for an hour or 30 minutes. We run some adventurous games, or we even push ourselves to, let's say, read a book together, right? So please, the reason why I say Balance Unleashed is because it's not because I'm an expert. It's because I need a community to help me navigate becoming a better version of myself. And so since I didn't have that community, I'm creating that community. I want us to work together. I will work with my team to bring in speakers, bring in people who have perfected distance, who are expert at distance, to come speak to us sometimes, to come share resources with us sometimes. And also you will get access to a lot of amazing learning content that will help you. We will do our best not to spam you. But within that group, we would also be very intentional about not allowing it to run wild. So please, if you think this is something that you want to be part of, please join our WhatsApp group. Please join our WhatsApp group, right? Our goal is to start as small as possible and to impact as much lives as possible. The truth is, if we are 10 people in that group and we are able to impact one life, we know that the ripple effect of it will impact a lot more people. So please, no pressure. If you are not able to join the WhatsApp group, then follow us on our social media platforms where we will drop content. Right now, we don't have a lot going on there. Well, we have some things going on there, but we'll try to be more consistent. Now we have a social media manager who is going to really support us to drive posting our content and all of that. So we're going to post educational content. We're going to post content that is really helpful. If you're not able to be consistent within the group and you feel WhatsApp groups can be overwhelming for you, please, it's okay. Be on social media. And if either of this doesn't work for you, or you feel like, you know what, this was an absolute waste of my time, it's okay. But if you think there's someone who would find value in what I have said or shared today, please get them to follow us or join either of these groups, right? I'm going to be sharing some resources, some on social media, but the reason why we have this community is because there's some information that will not be available to the general public. It will only be available within the community. So that is why it's important. But because you are also part of our newsletter, you are sort of part of the community, maybe not the very small community on WhatsApp, but you're part of the community. So which means you get access to a good number of resources that I will be creating or working with other people, partnering with other people to create. Now, enough of my rambling, but one last thing, please check your spam, right? You might have an email from us. One of the first emails, that was the welcome to Love Letters with Ray. You might have a spam email from me. If you want to keep hearing from me, please go and click not spam. But I believe that some of the emails fell on spam. I know everybody still received that email, but what we did was we had to send it again because the first set of emails actually went into spam, right? So please just go and add us to your contacts or click not spam, and you will hear from us once in a while because we don't want to stress you. It's all about balance. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Marcus, for giving me extra time. I feel like I went over my time. Oh my God, 11 minutes. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Quickly share that with the what's it called, the life audit tool that I'm going to be sharing. It's free. It's something that when I put it together, actually even for the people that I gave parts of it to, they paid me to get access to it. But I'm making it available for free. But then if you decide that you want me to work with you through like answering these questions, or there are some things that you're not able to, you need someone to like assist you figure out even more, please, I am going to be taking, I'm going to charge for that because it's my time again. But then I'm going to be charging a very minimal fee of 10K for that, 10,000 naira. Because the people that I have supported with this, these were people who were paying like, let's say, 50K to have that time. But because you are part of the community, this is you getting me pour myself out to you, but then at a very discounted rate, right? So if you want to spend some time with me, you can just send an email, and we would also be sharing a link for that. But please, again, it's free. Go through it, spend some time working through those questions. We will create more of these resources, but if you need someone to walk you through answering these questions the best way to help you just feel unstuck, we're giving a how many percent discount? That's like an 80% discount for you to have access to it for 10K. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Wow.
Looking forward to seeing you guys in the group. Yeah, thank you.
I don't think you actually shared how they were able to reach out and kind of the email address. I mean, which one?
What? Oh, you mean for the, what's it called? No, I mean, everybody got an email for this event, balanceunleashed@gmail.com. Just send an email, balanceunleashed@gmail.com, or send us a message on Instagram, on WhatsApp, whatever. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, Rachel, for your exceptional presentation. Thank you. We love you and we appreciate the valuable knowledge you shared with us today. I think we have 10 more minutes, right? And if you have any question, you can actually drop that. So while you were speaking, I think a question dropped. I don't know if you responded to that from Precious.
Let me see.
She said,
Precious.
"Hey, Rachel, thank you for this session." Okay,
Yeah.
can you see it from your end?
Yeah, I can see it. I have a question on learning a new skill and changing the kind of work you do. How do you learn new skills, switching career? I'm doing bad in my role. In fact, I'm earning well, but I want to change. I don't want to do this role again. I don't enjoy it. Do you have anything on this? I would prefer we have a separate chat on this. Like we could have like a one-on-one conversation. But then first thing, it's clear that you don't want to do this role anymore, and then you are earning well from it. My recommendation right now would be phase it, phase your exit, basically. Find a course that you can learn within a short period of time, and then while you are still working at this place, start volunteering or offering your services somewhere else, right? While you do that, what happens is you still have a consistent source of income while you also have what's it called? You are learning, you are sort of like actively working towards your exit plan, right? So that would be my first recommendation. If you have enough money that will last you 18 months, The reason why I'm saying 18 months is because depending on the industry you're trying to go into, if you're going to an industry that getting a job is easy, then yeah, you can do maybe like 12 months worth of funding that will take care of you, maybe like emergency fund, that your living expenses for every month is covered. But if you know that the industry you're going into, people are struggling to get jobs there, then I would recommend taking some time, right? Just take maybe like 18 months. Then you can now say, oh, I want to leave my work, but I have 18 months worth of money. And then for the first 6 months, you are sort of like actively learning. And then within that 6 months, you are learning and then you're applying for jobs, right? As you're applying for jobs. Now, again, applying for a job in itself is a full-time job. Remember how I talked about the sales strategy where you have you want to make 1,000 sales, or you want to bring in 25, and then you may need to talk, depending on your conversion rate, you may need to talk to 1,000 people. If you want to apply for a job and then you want to get a response, you may need to apply for 1,000 jobs. So the question is, can you apply for 1,000 jobs in a day, right? Then, so these are things that you need to put into perspective. How much time can I allocate towards this? How much time can I spend doing just my work? Or how much time, how much money do I have to take care of me, even if I am not working for the next couple of months? If you have that, then you can now potentially go that route. But my personal recommendation would be to phase it, right? But please, if you are open to it, let's have a separate conversation about this. I have a career. So the tool you are getting is the life audit tool, but I have a separate service that I offer a few friends and colleagues, which is career audit. So that's a separate thing. We can talk about that. If that's open, if that's something you're open to, please send an email. Hi Ray. Uh, oh, this is Lawrence. So Lawrence is my classmate from the Polytechnic. Hi Lawrence. Thank you so much for joining this call. I'm a tech enthusiast that, being the breadwinner of the family, I'm saddled with a lot of responsibilities, of which my little earnings cannot give average satisfaction to them, nor fuel my career in tech. I don't have a sponsor nor a close by community. What do you have to tell me? So, first of all, you have Balance Unleashed as a community if that is something you hope to be part of, right? Oh yeah, one of the things I forgot to add was part of being in Balance Unleashed, I have access to an unlimited, like almost like daily, I get close to like 10 job opportunities that comes to me that people are telling me, Rachel, I need to fill this role. So we're building a community. You know how WhatsApp has a community? One of the channels or one of the groups would just be for job opportunities. We'll be dropping a lot of job opportunities there. These are some job opportunities that are in tech, some job opportunities that are in management, some job opportunities that are in marketing and all of that. So that is just one added benefit I forgot to add of being part of the community. I felt, well, if you don't join the community, you wouldn't know. But even if these opportunities are not for you, it could be for someone else. So that is something you could potentially see as value that you're getting out of the community, right? But for you, Lawrence, having Balance Unleashed as part of this is already a community that you can gain access to. And in time, we would look at how we can support almost each individual on his personalized level, not completely personalized, but to a certain degree, right? And we would try to have conversations with you to understand what are your goals, what are your aspirations, and how can we hold you accountable? Who should we connect you to? Who can we find as a sponsor for you? Who can we, maybe not sponsor to sponsor your lifestyle at this time, but who can we talk to? Who can we connect you with that can potentially open doors for you or speak about you in rooms? Who can we talk to that can help you improve your skills, right? So my recommendation for you at this time is keep doing what you're doing. The truth is there is blessing that comes from you supporting family, but there's also blessing that comes from you being part of a community. If you're part of the Balance Knowledge community, we will work with you. I'm sure that even amongst how many people are currently on this call at this time, take 3 people that we have on this call, I know we got to almost 50 at some point. Among these people who will be in the community, there are people who would actually support you to get your next big thing. But then it may require you to learn some skills. And there are people who are here who could actually also support you to learn these skills. There are people who are here, including myself, who could help chart a path. My job, what I do, one of the best things I'm really good at is you tell me this is what I want to achieve. Or I help you figure out how you want to achieve this. And I can create a structure that can get you from point A to the next point within a very short period of time. When I say short period of time, please don't expect to come and tell me and then you expect that you get a job in 1 week. That's not what I'm saying. But I can tell you that within 3 to 6 months, we can work together and get you something that helps push you to the next level, right? So this is what I do, right? So being part of this community alone, I feel it's a step in the right direction for you. That's my recommendation at this time. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Well, I think that's it. Can we get access to the record? Yes, you will. So we'll be uploading this on our YouTube channel. And once the link is live, we will share that we'll share that with everyone. Marcus has shared the link to the WhatsApp chat or the WhatsApp community, please. We look forward to having you there. Am I missing any question? I don't think so. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me. But remember, I talked about things that you need to do. You need to find out what makes you happy, how the work you do is impacting, or what you're doing right now impacts the world. You need to make a list of the people, how you show up for people, how you come off to people in your life, the conversations you have with them, and also ask them to tell you what they think about how you show up for them, and use that to compare how you want to be, like the version of yourself you want to end this year with. And also join our community if that's something that you're open to. If you're not, that's totally okay. You would hear from me once in a while via email. Also, I'll be sharing the live audit tool by tomorrow in an email with a feedback form. Please let us know. You don't have to spend, it's going to take you less than a minute to fill that feedback form. It's just like you responding to a chat. So please just quickly tell me how this session was for you. And if there's any recommendation you have about what the next session should look like, please let me know. And my plan is to do this as often as possible. And please, if there are people who you think should definitely be part of the next one, please let them know. Just send them a message. Thank you so much. If you invited someone to join this or to register, thank you so much for doing that. I know that there is a reward for you for doing that because you have no idea what this would be to someone else. Thank you so much, everyone.